Welcome to Sports Talk with three stupid guys. All four stupid guys are here. How's it going, guys?
It's going pretty good.
Back.
What song did you? Because before we started recording, Russ, you said I missed the song. What song?
The recorded live song.
Oh, Talk Shoe.
Talk Shoe.
Recorded
Talk Shoe.
live.
We don't have like an intro song. We need like a little intro song.
Yeah,
You
I'll
don't listen.
I'll
You
start
don't,
Maybe we can use a little bit of the Canadian national anthem or something.
you don't even listen to this podcast. We actually do have a song. Jay recorded a song, and
Oh, did
we
Jay
have a
put
little
a, did
song.
Jay put a song in there?
We do. We have a song at the beginning of every episode.
You can tell I listened also.
It hasn't cracked the top 100 of iTunes yet.
Okay, I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna leave a review on this episode,
Say,
just,
hey, I like that intro song. It's the best one I've ever heard.
Russ doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just a Canadian.
The intro song
we're
is.
we're moving up in the world where we've got like intro songs now. I mean, we have guests last week. We have intro songs this week.
Well,
Next
we had
week, who knows? Next week we might have food.
We had a chick guest last week, right, Russ?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
As Russ so eloquently put it.
Yeah.
She was a lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lady footballer.
You leave Liz alone. Okay.
I thought it was back in the 70s there for a second. Hey, chicks, man.
Chicks, man, they're on our show now. We're making it, man.
Yeah, I had Jay give me crap. He goes, "You don't listen to the podcast?" I go, "No, I know what I said. I don't need to." Well, I just don't have time. I go, I used to listen to them just so I would, the lost one, just because people would go, "Why did you say this?" I go, "What did I say?" And I don't really remember what we say or do on these podcasts most of the time until someone calls us out and I go, "Did I say that or was it someone else?" I don't know. I know I didn't say chick. I know
Right.
that. I know I'm on the clear on that one.
And just to be
In Canada, chick is a term of reverence, though.
okay, and just to clarify here, I am the one stupid guy that Liz Loza said was cute. So
Right.
Okay. I
Did
just wanna
she use the
make that
term
for-
cute? Did she?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
checked the tapes on that one.
Okay. I kind of saw like you were like Rudolph there. You said I'm cute. I'm cute. I'm cute. You're jumping up and all that stuff.
Exactly how many times is the
What?
question?
I'll-
Rewind it and listen. And rewind and listen. How many times?
I actually only listened once.
Yeah, whatever.
Just to,
And of
Okay,
course,
right.
Maybe once every minute for the last like
no.
7 days.
I did let my wife know though. I am, officially on the market. So
Ooh.
She give you go ahead.
I haven't brought up the the freebie yet. So like
Oh,
the hall pass. So
I got a hall pass, and
I
it's
have
when
to-
they say I don't. Okay, fine. Then you go. Wait, what? Really? What? Anyway, so we're here to talk about sports. There's a lot of stuff to talk about this week, but I just want to talk about baseball real quick. You guys see David Price sign with the Red Sox?
He did.
Left-handed pitcher, 7 years, $218 million.
time for a J Jack Patreon money.
Yeah, exactly. $31 million a year for a pitcher, left-handed pitcher. Yeah, more power to you. I just was like, oh my gosh. But more power. I mean, I don't fault these guys for if they can get it, get it. Someone's going to pay me $31. We lost Matt. It's not even the Walking Dead podcast yet, but it's $31 million a year. Too much to pay a pitcher?
Yeah, Matt had to go back and rewind and watch the episode from last week again.
Yeah, I think he did. So, what, too much, Mike?
Boston's up there with New York. They got a lot of money to spend.
I guess.
I think it's just the going rate for a number one pitcher.
It's a lot of money. What's Cueto
You know,
going to do?
so let me ask you this, Jack, because we always talk about this. Do you think that signing was more them offering that kind of money so they can have him, or to keep other teams like the Yankees from getting him?
I think, well, the Red Sox needed to do something because they had a terrible year last year. So I think it's more they wanted him. They're trying to get back into the thick of things in the
Right.
National League East.
Well,
American League East.
but it's going to take more than just him. I mean, they need a lot.
I get that, but it's a start. It's just a lot of money for a pitcher.
think some of it is spurned by that. They got to overspend just to outbid the Yankees.
Well, that's the problem you have in the American League East. You have the Yankees and Red Sox, jacking up the prices, and the Dodgers on the West Coast. Greinke. What's Greinke going to ask for? Zach Greinke. What's he going to? I mean, he's going to
get a lot.
He's a better pitcher than Price, in my opinion. Might be a little older, but I don't know. I mean, there's no way the Dodgers can give Greinke more money than they gave Kershaw.
No, but Kershaw really had that great a year.
Yeah, but he's one of the better pitchers in baseball. So there's no way you're going to say, okay, we gave Kershaw $27 million a year, whatever his contract is. We're going to give Greinke $35 million a year. There's no way that happens. No way. Anyway, done with baseball. There's a lot of things to talk about. We could talk about the Browns and the game last night. How many people saw the game last night?
Somehow I got sucked into that game.
Yeah.
So
I think everybody's like, it's football, fourth quarter, I'll turn it on.
That's what I did. I turned it on the fourth quarter. I said, I forgot Matt Schaub is playing. And Cleveland punted the ball. Matt Schaub got the ball and right away threw an interception.
Yeah, he looked like Matt Schaub.
And Matt Schaub has not changed. I used to laugh when people, because Matt Schaub was drafted the same year that Phillip Rivers was, or around the same time, and they used to say he's just as good as Phillip Rivers. Anyway, so Matt Schaub throws an interception. Cleveland lines up for the game-winning field goal, and the ball gets blocked and ran back the other way for a touchdown. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I just can't believe this happened to the poor.
It was a cool last 2 minutes. I think they said that, I don't know how many lead possession changes happened, but I think there was like 5 in the last 2 minutes or something like that. So
that was probably one of those games where all you needed to do was just watch the last 2 minutes and forget about the rest of the game.
Pretty much was. I mean, I did watch a good majority of that game, unfortunately for Cleveland. Unfortunately for Cleveland, they had lost their quarterback.
Hoyer. Josh McCown. Hoyer's on the
right.
McCown. Collarbone out for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't bring in Manziel.
They did not.
The fans did not approve of that.
Well, I mean, if Johnny Mann came in, I mean, what happens if they win that game?
And they have to play him the next week.
Right.
Have you seen some of the stuff on YouTube and the Vine and all that stuff, that social media where the people are filming the last scene? They're filming the field goal and what happens after it gets blocked and ran back. So it's so sad because it does remind me of being a Charger fan. Quite not. I can't say I'm not as bad because Chargers. I can't. Well, a few years ago they've had a couple of field goals blocked, returned for touchdowns to lose a game, but the look on their face was just, and the one guy takes his jersey and just says, "I've had it," and he rips his jersey off, just rips it and throws it away. There's a guy, poor kid, filming himself, giving himself a selfie, filming the kick, and he turns around and sees it blocked. His look back, he's just like, people screaming in the stands, "I can't believe it! I can't believe it!" It's like, it's sad. How I feel bad for Browns fans. I mean, we got long-suffering Colts fan here, long-suffering Chiefs fan, Dolphins fan, Charger fan, but none of us have it as bad as the Brown fans. Would you agree?
There was a note that said, since 1999, this is the 42nd last-minute loss for the Browns.
Wow.
22 times it's happened on the very last play.
God, it's just
wow.
brutal. It just.
And in the words of Lucy from Snoopy or Peanuts, if you prefer, of all the Charlie Browns, you're the Charlie Browniest.
Because I had a debate with
that's how Cleveland is.
I had a debate with the Browns because he said God hates because it was the Chargers beat the Browns on a last-second field goal, and I said we've had it pretty rough too. But I finally told him last night, you win. I can't believe it just happened. You win.
Who said that?
I was talking to a guy on Twitter, a Browns fan.
Is he the person that's texting you right now, or is that Russ?
No, that's got to be Russ. That's not me.
Yeah.
They have this thing called silence. You can silence.
Yeah, I just silenced it.
Okay, there you go. But It makes for podcasting gold when that's going on.
Excellent.
Anyway, so I just was like, I felt so bad for the Browns, and not that it mattered. Neither team's going to the playoffs. Neither team's, it doesn't matter in the standings as much, But you just go, God, how did that keep happening? It just.
Yeah, I think Bill Simmons tweeted out. What did he say? God still hates Cleveland. So I thought that was pretty good.
And the fans are some of the. I've said it before. Some of the best fans in the NFL. I mean, they're great to hang out with. They love their team, win or lose, but you can only take so much. You can only take so much disappointment year after year. I mean, this is a team that had Bill Belichick and let him go, and then Bill Belichick goes to New England and has nothing but success.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there for Cleveland, but it was a sad loss by them. So I think we all picked Cleveland to win that game. Yep,
I was counting that as a win, but it's almost like I just laughed. I mean, I just kind of I laughed but I felt bad laughing. It's like, who am I to laugh? My team's bad too, but it just kind of cracked me up. I don't know.
I'm sure they were laughing too. That the team that moved away from Cleveland and won 2 Super Bowls.
That they came back to beat them. It's just man,
it's a kick in the balls.
It is a kick in the balls.
There's no other easy way to put it. But now, speaking of that, though, and other things that we can talk about this week, you saw a game, live.
I did. I did see. I got to go down to Jacksonville, Florida. Nice place to watch it. It was almost like being in San Diego, though, because I just at the last second I threw some shorts in my suitcase. And it was like 78 degrees at the game. Sun was beaten down the whole time, so I shorts in my LT jersey, and it was funny. This guy walks by in a Fouts jersey, and there were some Charger fans sitting with us, and the guy goes, "Fouts, cool jersey, Fouts, way to go!" And he goes, "I'm rooting for the Jags," and we all went, "What? What?" He goes, "Why are you wearing a Fouts jersey?" The guy says to him, he goes, "We're moving to LA. I don't care anymore."
He said he's a fan of the announcer, not the player.
Yes, what it was. And I just looked at it, I go, what a jerk. So later on, after the Chargers were winning, I go, "Hey, Fouts, how's rooting for the Jags going for you?" They're actually pretty cool fans. They're pretty laid back. Stadium wasn't sold out. There was a lot of empty seats. They have the top tarped off. It's a good place to watch a game, though. Fans are cool. They don't give you any crap and stuff like. They kept every time though people we were sitting around every time the Chargers committed a penalty. Chargers, cheaters, cheaters, cheaters. So Charger fans started yelling back, cheaters, cheaters. It was just some good old fun going on. But after the game, we're walking around, and the Chargers won, but they almost lost the game. And I did tweet, "Fire McCoy now." I still don't get why on 3rd down and long, with minute 33 left, I think. We run a play. We'd already been penalized twice on this drive. I go, why are we running? They had no more timeouts. Just take a knee, let the clock run down 40 seconds, then punt the ball. I'm saying this from my seat. I don't get paid coaches' money to make the thing. So they run another play, penalty, illegal shift. They decline the penalty, so the clock stops at 1:29. I go, what a moron. So right away I just tweeted it. I just angry tweeted. What happens? Boom, punt blocked, and next play they score a touchdown. I go, are you kidding me? There's still minute 1 left. Onside kick. At first they gave the ball to Jacksonville, but then they went back and decided. I go, just go ahead. But after the Chargers scored the touchdown with 4:45 to go up by 13, I think it was, or whatever it was, almost everybody in the stadium left. I mean, there was maybe 5,000 people left in the stadium. I go, you guys haven't seen many Charger games, have you? I go, we're not as bad as the Browns. I go, but I wouldn't leave. I'd stay here. And one of the guys sitting around me goes, oh, you were right. It was a game, wasn't it? I go, yeah. I go, that's the way it is for Charger fans. But then after the game, we we're walking around. My wife wanted to see, so we went around the players, and she got her picture taken with Coach McCoy and Kendall Reyes and some other players, and they were coming around. But the Jags fans that get at Charger fans were like going, oh, L.A. Chargers, have fun in L.A. next year. Have fun watching your team go. That was their comeback because we had beat them. And so I always told my wife, don't say anything, just ignore it. So she went over to get a picture with Weddle, Eric Weddle. So I finally turned around to one of the guys that she was not longer there. I said, I go, the only reason your team is safe is because nobody wants them. I went, so I said, okay, good. But yeah, it was a good time. The weather was great, and I had a great time. It was it's a boring drive. It's just nothing but trees. I mean, there's nothing going on from Raleigh to Jacksonville. There's no towns, no nothing.
Jack Gladfelter, tree killer.
Tree kill. You might as well, because there's nothing.
Yeah, you could have stopped in Savannah, Georgia on the way.
I saw signs for Savannah, but I just kept going.
You didn't? Did you see any walkers on the way or anything?
I didn't see any walkers. None. No walkers at all. Because they're all up in wherever they're at in Virginia. DC.
No Daryl, nothing, huh?
No. But I had a great time. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I bet you saw a lot of people rocking the Daryl mullet, though. You know.
I didn't see a lot. It just seemed like people, they're just very, they say Charger fans are laid back. They did get upset because one of their players got hurt. He was laying there. They had to bring the stretcher out. And Mike McCoy challenged to play because it looked like he caught the ball, but then it kind of bounced up, was laying on him, and we picked it up as he was laying there motionless. And I'm not sure, he ended up just having a concussion. But they're like, oh, that's just dirty. We don't do things like that. That's just dirty. I go, so my wife's going, yeah, I disagree with that. I go, he's trying to keep his job. I go, if possibly we get the ball back, you have to challenge it. I go, it's part of the game. I go, there's no rule saying, well, your player's laying there for 5 minutes that we can't challenge a call. Sure. They thought it was bad sportsmanship. But
hey, so you've been to quite a few games now at different venues. Out of all your venues that you've been to and skylines and everything like that, which has been the most enjoyable? Probably Jacksonville.
As far as there's actually, because we walked back from the game and there was nobody there. I mean, it just once the game ended, there's just nothing's going on in that town. I mean, it's a very quiet town. Be honest with you, the best time I had was Cleveland. Because we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it was right next to the game. The best fans, Baltimore, without question. I love going to Baltimore. Their fans are great. I mean, they're fun to sit around. Pittsburgh was fun. The Cleveland fans were fine too, but like I said, I don't know. The worst fans are Carolina. I'll say it over and over again. They're just the fans I've sat around. I can only go because I've been to 2 games. Are just the worst.
Did Cleveland Stadium smell the closest to San Diego because of Colt McCoy?
It didn't. I don't think Colt McCoy was there yet when I went there. I don't think his hit signed yet with the. He wasn't drafted by the Browns yet. But no, I'd say Jacksonville's. But Jacksonville's, when the stadium was built, was it built before they moved there or after the Jacksonville? Because they got a team in '95, right? They became a team.
I think they built the stadium for Jacksonville.
And we sat in pretty good seats. We had club seats, and but the seats were they're a little worn. But other than that, it was. They were padded, but the padding was a little. I guess from the hot sun all the time and the weather and stuff. But.
So are you making a point to kind of follow your team around the East there?
That's as close as we can get. We still want to try and do a. We want to do every. I've told because our goal is to do every stadium. Mm-hmm. But I said I'm not going to the Raiders and I'm not going to Philadelphia. I go. There's no way. Jeez,
you know where you would probably have a really good time is Nashville.
Yeah, we'll probably go there someday. Even if they move to LA, I will probably sit there and.
Okay, so I was thinking about your dilemma here today. Okay, this is what could happen, all right? This would be the best, because from what I've heard from LA, we heard it here from Liz Loza and also Bill Simmons. He would prefer the Rams as well. I'm sure there's a lot of other LA people that would prefer the Rams. So the Rams could go, okay, with Oakland, and they can just be Rams and Raiders. It makes the most sense because they're in AFC and NFC and they don't compete, right?
And they were there before. They already have a fan base. I mean, I know the Chargers were there. I know they were there for a year, but they don't have a fan base.
And then if the Chargers can't stay in San Diego, then they can just go to St. Louis and replace the Rams there.
As long as they're called the Chargers, I don't care. I've decided that I will continue to support the team, whether they stay or move. I finally made that decision. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. John Spanos, who is the son of Dean Spanos, grandson of Alex Spanos, he was getting in his car with his family driving away, and so they stopped at the thing, and I pointed my finger at him and yelled at him. And I said, "The team belongs in San Diego. Don't move to L.A." And so I think I scared him enough that the team's not going to be. He's just looking at me like, "All right, this guy's crazy." But I just said, you just get so frustrated with it.
I'm amazed that this happened. This happened. You one of the Spanos.
I was literally probably about 5 feet away from him. He was in his car with his windows up. And then I guess it's his family. They like 3 other cars came by. I'm just guessing it's family. They're waving. I go, "Stop waving at me. Stop waving at me."
And then Jack threw his milkshake at him.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, what else do you like? The only thing to top that is you throw food.
I was angry. I just saw him, and I'm sure he's a nice guy, and I'm sure it's not his fault. He's just doing what But he was the only Spanos I could see, so it just ticked me off. Anyway, I forgot to say that part, but anyway, there's other things happening in the NFL. We real quick, you guys want to talk about the officiating?
What officiating? Are we talking about Patriots game?
Well, here's and I know Tucker's on here, and I said this at the time it happened. I go, yeah, there's some bad calls going against the Patriots. Welcome to the rest of the NFL. Usually it doesn't affect them because they don't make mistakes that cost them. So they're not used to. They're probably used more to the calls going their way than the calls going against them. And I would say, yeah, the calls were probably, but they lost that game because the guy they actually cut yesterday fumbled that punt. That was the difference of the game. I mean, they're up 21-7. He fields that punt cleanly. Denver doesn't score. Right. They go on to win the game. So he muffs that punt, and I'm pretty sure he was probably told, because people are like going, "How could they cut the guy?" I go, well, he was probably told to let the ball bounce. Don't go near it. Why field a ball in the snow when you're up by 14? So yeah, I know Patriots fans are upset, but you lost that game because your boy dropped that ball. Agree or disagree?
The Broncos pretty much kind of gift wrapped 2 touchdowns there very early in the first quarter. I mean, they practically gave them 14 points right out the gate. So, the Broncos were always in that hole, and the refs were just trying to make it exciting for NBC.
And usually the Patriots. The best thing about the Patriots is when someone makes a mistake, they usually their team usually picks that person up, and but the defense is folded. The guy, they ran and got a touchdown. So, yeah, like I said, it was the momentum had swung. I had picked the Broncos, so I was happy. But if it had been a normal season, if the Chargers had a chance, of course I'd be rooting for the Patriots, and I'd be ticked off. Like I said, the call at the end, the holding call. I don't know.
Offensive pass interference. That's one of the big ones that
offensive
fans are upset about with the Gronk call.
Gronk is really upset. I guess he said he's been called more this season for that than any season before. I can remember at least 4 or 5 times a year Gates gets called for it, and you're like, go, what? I mean, it's just again make that call reviewable. It's a big call. It's huge.
That Chung call in the end zone looked pretty bad.
It was. I would say it was pretty bad. Plus, it also negated the sack. But as a Charger fan, I can tell you, 3 or 4 times this season, the Chargers have been killed with calls like that.
Sure.
And in fact, someone at the Charger message board today showed a picture of the final touchdown that Pittsburgh scored against the Chargers to win the game. And I hadn't seen this photo before. He's clearly down before he crossed the goal line, and they reviewed the play. I'd never seen this photo, and it's like, okay, it's so close, but the calls go your way, they don't go your way. The officiating, it's bad, but is it bad because?
Yeah, but that's not even the game where the officials got suspended. The Arizona-San Francisco game was one that got all the.
They didn't get suspended; they got reassigned. They got reassigned to the Patriots.
Quotation marks.
The Patriots Eagles game. But you also had the game in Tennessee where they called a holding. It was 4th and 18. They called a holding call on Tennessee, and he clearly didn't hold the guy. So it's automatic first down, 5-yard penalty, first down. Gave Oakland a new set of downs. Oakland scores a touchdown, wins the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, I complained about when I went to the Baltimore game. That ball that the Chargers were called for pass interference was 5 feet out of bounds, but yet they still called it. That call is, other than a touchdown scored or a turnover, that's like the most important call, and it's a judgment call, and that's the problem people are having. It's a judgment call. Like I said, I agree that holding call, yeah, it was kind of holding, but do you call that in that situation? I go, if I'm a ref, I wouldn't have called it. It wasn't blatant enough that I would call it, and it was a bad call. I agree. Anybody
I just
else?
want to say, after the Dolphins game, I was pretty much checked out of the weekend. I was almost done with the NFL season. But the TV games brought me back. Pittsburgh, Seattle first, going back and forth, trading off like the scoring back and forth. Then you had New England, Denver, the night game, and you finish off with the fourth quarter, the Cleveland, Baltimore game.
Yeah, I was another funny story. We're in the bar, the hotel bar. We're eating, I'm having some drinks and stuff. We're watching the game, the Pittsburgh Seattle game, going back and forth, back and forth. Nice tackling by Pittsburgh, by the way. So then anyway, I'm sitting there and I have my back turned, and then all of a sudden a hand steps on my shoulder and he kind of pushes down on my shoulder. I look up and this guy must have been like 6'8", 6'9". I go, what? And he goes, hey, our Chargers finally won today. Good job. I go, yeah, good job. Let me go change my pants. I thought I kind of wet my pants because the guy scared me. He was huge. He was mammoth. He was just a big guy. But yeah, I thought it was good. The football I watched was fun to watch. Like I said, if I was a Patriots fan, yes, I'd be ticked off. But the difference of the Patriots, their guy makes a mistake, they cut him. I watched Jacoby Jones do nothing for, 8 weeks? And the Chargers finally cut him. So that's the difference in the organization. But I think Gronk had I don't think that was offensive pass interference either.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the ones that they're really upset about, and
yeah.
I can't remember the guy that does the Monday Night Football halftime. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Chris Berman.
Yeah, I knew it was Chris someone.
Oh, Chris Berman.
Yeah, thanks.
Who's a closet Charger fan, by the way,
and a Canadian to boot, because he always brings up the Grey Cup, and I thought it was interesting. He had a whole segment during the halftime where he goes over the Grey Cup results, and they talk about the fact that they can review the pass interference call, so they can challenge it. So,
like I said, it should be like where it's just a normal challenge where you can say, hey, I disagree with that, challenge it. It's just such a big call. Like I said, I think what's hurt football in general is the replay. Maybe the replays hurt it because now we're scrutinizing, every play, and the camera work is incredible. I mean,
right.
Where I was watching football in the '80s, you go, oh, it's a terrible call, but it was all the fuzzy screen, and you could prepare. You move your rabbit ears around. Now it's like you can see, and they can slow the slow motion of that play. If you're watching it live, yeah, it kind of looked like it was holding in the end zone. When you watch the replay, you go, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like I said, it technically was, but do you make that call in that situation? I say the refs are dictating the game, and I think that's the problem. I don't blame the refs, but something needs to change. And I think the problem is they keep trying to micromanage the rules and make the rules perfect, and I think they've made it worse. Like, is a catch a catch? Is it not a catch? I don't know. I'm still watching, still enjoying it. But.
Yeah, I had a great week of watching football as well. So from Thanksgiving all the way to the end. I even watched a bunch of college football on Saturday too. So there was a lot of great rivalry games.
Don't deny your great week of tweeting football too.
Oh yeah, so I was on Twitter quite a bit on Sunday night.
I did see it. I was
amazed.
I did have to go, what am I doing here? Because The Walking Dead was coming up on my Twitter feed, the leftovers stuff. I go, all right, I got to get off. I'm going to get spoiled here, and I'll have no one to blame but myself. Right, Russ?
That's it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, you guys ready to get picks or anything else you guys want to talk about?
Oh, I just was going to say that I've never live tweeted an event, and somehow I got sucked into live tweeting the the Sunday Night Football game, and a lot of fun. So
And it carried over to Monday.
a little bit on Monday. So I've never been a big Twitter guy, but
You know, we could talk about the Chiefs beating the Bills with no running back.
Okay, so you want to get those picks, Jack?
Yeah. Well, right now we got the totals here. Well, we could talk about that. I could also talk about how Philip Rivers having MVP type season on a terrible team. He won't even get a vote. But people keep saying, "Oh, Brady has no one to throw to. Brady has no one to throw to." Who does Rivers have to throw to?
Stevie Johnson.
Stevie Johnson. Who, for the life of me, why can't this guy keep his mouth shut? He got another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I go, and then Rivers got in his face, and after that he played well. He dropped a couple balls. He got unsportsmanlike conduct. Rivers had to get in his face, and suddenly he was fine after that. But I don't know. It just, I mean, Rivers, no running game. So they have 2 rushing touchdowns all season. No running game. Offensive line is terrible. He ran for a first down, which the Jag fans were like going, "That should never happen. The guy's so slow." And I said, "Yeah, really, that was brutal defense." I go, "You let Rivers run for 8 yards to get a first down." I go, "That should never happen." Anyway, I'm done pimping up Rivers. I go, "You should have an MVP, but it's not going to happen this year." So we got totals right now. Russ had 10 wins last week. You're at 110 right now, Russ. The bonus picks, I guess, aren't in there. Matt had 10 wins, 107, so you passed Mike. Mike, 8 wins. What's happening, Mike? You're slipping. You're sliding.
Falling apart here.
106.
Too busy scheduling guests.
And Jack with 11 at 99, who was out of it. He was done.
So you would have ended up with 10, but thanks to Liz Loza and a Denver upset pick, you had the top pick of the week. 11 wins.
She told me to pick. I picked Denver because of her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
She also kept talking about that Chandler thing, which Mike tweeted her about. So.
Again, Chandler was drafted by the Chargers. In the 4th round, I think so. 4th round. They cut him, and he was out of the league for a while. Then went to Buffalo. Anyway, Scott Chandler. I always remember him from, I think, Iowa. He went to, but never anything from that. All right. So anyway, we got Green Bay versus Detroit. Do we know the status of Brett Favre? I'm not Brett Favre.
I thought they were going to bring him on because can you believe that Green Bay game that they lost?
Bart Starr is also out this week.
Bart Starr is out.
Quarterback.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, losing to those guys. I mean, you just have to run out the back door or something.
Yeah.
Avoid the photo shoot.
They were saying, Colin Cowherd was saying today, he goes, Aaron Rodgers, you can argue he's the best quarterback in football, but right now he's not.
Right.
He's 6-10. So.
Can we all blame it on Olivia Munn?
I think so. I think she should go out with you and save Aaron Rodgers' career. And be a guest on the show.
Olivia Munn is listening to the show too much. She's too entertained by the 3 Soup guys.
Is that what it is?
Aaron Rodgers is getting frustrated. He's like, you have to stop listening to that show.
So she's one of the 3 listeners we have. So that's encouraging. I'm going D-Town. I think D-Town's putting it together. It was a team that cost me 6 or 7 victories early in the year, but I think they're playing well. I think they win this game at home.
You can't quit them, even when you've been listed from the having to pick them every week.
Right. Russ, you're going with?
I'll take Detroit.
Sure, go with the hot hand here.
Yeah.
Matt.
I'm going Packers. No way the Green Bay Packers lose twice to the Detroit Lions in a year. It's not going to happen.
All right.
We've got a 50-50 split here. Green Bay.
All right. Next up is Russ, the Jets versus the Giants, a battle of the Meadowlands. Dun 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 dun.
I'll take the Jets.
Dun dun dun.
I'm taking the Jets as well. Giants looking shaky.
It's a home game for the Giants, though.
Yeah, right.
I guess most of the fans there would be the people that bought the tickets for the Giants. So the crowd would be more towards the Giants than the Jets.
I guess so.
right?
No.
It's
Well,
a-
I guess season ticket holders
Right.
would be more Giant fans. You're right.
Right.
But, you know, I guess they still have a chance. That NFC East is such a weird division, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it's terrible. All right, Mike, you're going with?
Yeah, they both lost 2 of the last 3. I think it's just a flip of the coin here. I'm going to go Giants.
Man, this is tough. God. If I had a coin, I'd flip it. I'm going to go with Mike, the Giants. Probably losing because Mike's been losing lately, so it's probably a bad pick.
Well, it just depends on if he's drinking, okay? You know,
Does he have his beer? Does he have his beer? That's what we need to know.
If I'm podcasting, I'm drinking. So, yeah.
All right, there we go. You're drinking. Russ is eating. And Russ
He's not cooking hamburgers this week, though.
No hamburgers.
No bun, just meat.
Mountain
meat.
Dew. I didn't know you were a Mountain Dew man.
I like Mountain Dew.
I'm not a fan.
One a week.
One a week. You save it for Mondays.
Yeah, I was in the mood today.
It's just hillbilly juice, man.
You know what? I'm in the mood for a Mountain Dew. Yeah, I'm gonna have a Mountain Dew.
I'm feeling it, man.
I'm feeling that Mountain Dew.
Look, and it's the big bottle.
Whoa.
Spare no expense. Look out, ladies.
Hey, chicks, want to go with me? I'll
Chicks.
treat you to a Mountain Dew, not the small one. The
Check
big
out
one.
my cool van, chicks. Wall-to-wall carpeting.
No, these bottles have more girth to them.
No girth. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get into uncharted territory here, I'm up next in these picks.
Cards versus the Rams.
All right.
No longer
Easy.
call them the St. Louis Rams because I think they're gone.
I'm taking the Cards on the road. Arizona.
Cards on the road. Mike.
Yeah, the Cardinals lost their top 2 running backs, but I think David Johnson can fill in pretty well here, so I'm going to go Arizona.
Yeah, I'll go with the Cards because I don't think the Rams have a quarterback, and they're just bad. So I'm going the Cards also.
Cards it is.
Cards is. Oh, Ed said he had Jack in the Box tacos today,
Oh, nice.
Oh,
and
that's a good one.
Tucker's with me. He's not a big Mountain Dew fan, so we disagree on the Patriots. We agree on the Mountain Dew. So I think we've come together.
That's a wash.
As a wash. Next up is Mike. Atlanta versus Tampa Bay.
Hotlander's falling apart. They're in the middle of.
Did Mike Smith come back and coach him?
It seems like it. But Dan Quinn's still there, and he's doing a good Mike Smith impersonation. I'm going to go Tampa here.
I think of coaching decisions too. We had the bad coaching decisions. What do you guys think about Kubiak in the into the first half? There was 30 seconds left. They stopped him. It was 4th down, and they didn't call a timeout for 5 seconds. At first, I said, "What a stupid mistake! Why would you let the clock run down 5 seconds? It's snowing. You could block the punt like that." I said, "You know what? He probably was afraid Belichick would go for it and get it."
Mm-hmm.
Once I thought about it, I go, he probably thinking Belichick, because most coaches aren't afraid of other coaches, but I think people are afraid Belichick would be like, screw you, I'm going to go for it.
Right.
And then Belichick came out there and he had Brady throw the ball up in the air. And time ran out. So, anyway, at first I thought terrible coaching decision, then I said, he's probably worried that Belichick would say, screw you, I'm going to go for it.
It's better to just not try to outsmart Belichick and
I
run
think
some kind of dumb play like the Colts did. I still haven't drank enough to forget that thing.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay also. This is an up-and-coming team. Russ?
T-Bay.
Let's sweep it clean.
Sweep it clean. Next up is me. It's Seattle versus...
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Are you allowed to change a pick at all?
What pick?
You want to change the Tampa Bay pick you just made?
I'm thinking of changing Detroit. I'm thinking of changing Detroit to Green Bay. I was just looking at the stats. Detroit's terrible against the run.
Now you look at the stats. We all do our homework way ahead of time.
before.
I mean, I spent, all day.
I'll leave it to Matt and Mike since they took Green Bay. If they want you to, I don't care. So
It's up to you guys. I don't care. I don't care either way.
So Mike, yay or nay?
It's all to Matt.
It's up to Matt.
Don't put it on me, because I'm going to say no to Russ.
Okay,
I
well,
don't want you
leave
bandwagon.
it as is.
Matt
Okay.
said no.
All right, Matt said no. Go on.
You know what's going to happen now. You're going to win. You know, and
We
you're going to be happy. You're
Russ,
gonna
just
be
so you know, Matt was trying to give Jack, 10 points just for going to Jacksonville San Diego game.
And seeing a win.
You wanted to give him 50. Check the tweets, my friend. You were
Yeah,
drunk
'cause-
first.
Hey, I
Because
just
the points
want
don't matter.
I just want you to know something. I'm 5-2 lifetime on the road, and the 2 losses were on the final play of the game.
I am calling the Elias Sports Bureau right now.
Tell me what?
He's calling me.
The Elias Sports Bureau.
There you go.
Report that
5-2
stuff.
lifetime. That's a pretty good winning percentage, especially for a team like the Chargers. Now, if I was a Browns fan, sure, it'd be a lot worse.
If you were 5-2 on the road with the Browns, you'd be like a talisman. They would tout you around like a golden calf.
Yes, exactly. I think I'd have a 50-yard seat right there. Boom.
Jack's here. Come on.
Come on, we got a chance to win.
You know, do you have more wins watching the Chargers on the road than what they do this year? Season?
Yeah, because they only have 3 wins this season.
Hey, I say Jack for coach. Get rid of McCoy, put Jack in.
Well, Jack would have said take a knee and let 40 seconds run off the clock, and if you could have fumbled, a penalty did. I said you can get another penalty. It'll stop the clock, and that happened. I go, why am I the only one that sees this? And
I don't know. I think you'd have Norv Turner as your offensive coordinator, and you have John Clayton as your defensive coordinator.
No, John Clayton would be the tackling dummy. We have in preseason. But it's funny because when he came up, he was McCoy was going through the fans after the game and by their buses and shaking hands, signing autographs. He took a picture with my wife. My wife goes, "I thought you were going to ask him about that play." I go, "I thought about it. I thought because she goes, you're pretty hard on Spanos." I go, "Yeah." I go, "But he was being so nice to the crowd. I didn't want to go, hey, dummy." Why did you just have Rivers take a knee? Why were you running the ball? But I figured he was in a good mood. They'd won the game, and he's trying to save his job, and he's got a family to feed. And who am I to complain?
I think you said enough with your silence. Like you were like, I'm only going to let you take a picture with my wife. I don't want to be in it. No, thank you.
He said, "Do you want a picture with me?" I go, "No, I don't take pictures with the ex-coaches."
He didn't ask me like, "Hey, can you get a picture of my tweet of Fire McCoy?"
Yeah. Fire McCoy now.
Yeah.
And my daughter goes, my youngest daughter who's getting into football, she goes, "Why did you tweet that?" I go, I text her the whole reason why. It took me a while. I text, she goes, "Oh, okay."
It's like a tweet having a footnote.
It just got off my chest. I was like, okay. I just like, God, it's not brain surgery. Let the clock, let it run. Anyway, next up we have Seattle versus the Vikings. Vikings are on a roll. I got to go Vikings. They won't have Pittsburgh tackling their receivers next week. I mean, Pittsburgh's terrible, but I'm going the Vikings. Russ?
I'll take Minnesota.
Yeah, I was going to take Minnesota as well.
Not changing that one.
We should have some kind of rule for changing your pick. You could do it, but there's some kind of penalty.
You know what we could do? If you want to change a pick, then the other 3 guys get to mutually agree on changing one of the other picks as well. Like you would change one of my other picks. So, if I pick, Arizona.
So Russ, obviously taking Philadelphia over New England this week.
Right, exactly.
I like the way Mike thinks. Sure. Okay. Then
so go ahead and pick Detroit.
You can pick Green Bay.
You can pick Green Bay, but you have to pick
Philadelphia.
Exactly.
And you have to give points. And you have to give us 10 points. You're giving New England 10 points to start the game. Anyway,
That'd be fun. That'd be interesting.
that's fine with me. We can do that. Start that next week if you want.
Yeah,
Mike-
that's good.
Mike, you're going with?
Well, now that Seattle's lost Jimmy Graham, I think they're obviously going to get better from here on out, so I'm going to go Seattle.
Wow. So the curse of Graham is what breaks it.
So you think that Graham has been what's holding him back?
Yeah,
I think-
obviously.
I think that's how Patriots feel about Gronk. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, finally.
Finally, he's out.
Yeah,
this
that's what Liz Loza said. She's like, finally, Scott Chandler.
Those were not tears of pain. They were tears.
I'll be honest with you. As a football fan, I think I even tweeted this. I don't like to see a player like Gronkowski go down. Seems like a nice guy. Seems like a cool guy to hang out with, and I mean, he's obviously, like Mike said, Frankenstein. I mean, he's just a freak of nature. And
Yeah.
you hate to. I was like, oh my God, I hope he's not out for the year. I'm not a Patriots fan, but I'm a fan of his. So, and I don't like seeing any player get hurt. So
Well-
I was like,
If he's a cool guy to hang out with, he does have a party cruise going out in January from Miami. So
well, he was.
if we get enough money to Patreon, we get all the stupid guys on the party cruise, on
That-
Gronk's party cruise.
That would be fun. He was in the when we had a get together at Comic-Con, he was in the same bar as us. We were upstairs, he was downstairs.
Oh.
He came walking in, but he didn't come walking upstairs.
Well, Jack's never hang out with the geeks, so.
No.
But the question is, was he fist pumping?
He was getting drinks, so I think he was happy because people were just buying him drinks. There was no
Drunk
Johnny Manziel.
Gronk,
He seemed to have a lot of women that were circling him and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying anything. It just seemed like he had a large following of people going. Once they realized it was him, people were like, "Oh my God!" Yeah. So anyway, let's see. Next up is Russ 49ers versus Chicago.
I'll take the Bears.
The Bears.
Chicago.
I'm taking the Bears, not their quarterback.
Okay. And Matt.
I'm taking the Bears and all. Cutler, even.
Yeah.
He hasn't been too bad,
He's been playing
He's
pretty
had
well
some
this year.
moments.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
hasn't,
even
he
though,
hasn't been
Blaine-
as whiny.
Oh.
We're used to him being a lot more whiny though,
He's matured. He has 2 kids now.
Yeah, it's no fun.
No.
I guess we can still pick on Eli though.
Oh yeah, you can always pick on Eli.
Did you guys see the ending of the game where they're doing all the laterals and the guy lateraled it back to him and he got like hammered by those 2 linebackers?
No, I didn't see that.
Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness, they lateraled it back about 4 times and they finally got it to, there's one guy, he ran in front of Eli Manning. He just about gets leveled. They throw it back to Eli, and before he has a chance to throw it, he gets pounded by 2 guys, and I was like, "That's awesome."
Anyway, Mike, you're going with?
Yeah, even though Blaine Gabbert shocked the world and threw 2 actual passing touchdowns, I'm going to go Chicago here.
Yeah, clean sweep. We're going with Chicago. Matt, you're up first. The Jags versus Tennessee. Jacksonville had a chance for the playoffs. Are you there, Matt?
We'll move on for now.
Okay.
I think Matt's gone.
I will go with Tennessee.
We made a Walking Dead reference, and Matt's gone.
Okay. I'm also going to go Tennessee. I think they should have won last week and kind of got hosed on some calls. So I'll go Tennessee. Russ?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Matt, you're going with Jacksonville or Tennessee? Are you there?
Jacksonville. Yep, I'm here. I'm going with Jacksonville.
Jags. Okay, we all went with Tennessee.
Huh. I thought the Jags were favored.
They might be, but
Tennessee by 2.5.
Blake Bortles went over the line of scrimmage and threw the ball twice in the same game. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that all year, and I turned to the guy sitting next to me. He's like complaining. I go, I haven't seen that all year. Now I've seen it twice in one game. And
I
one
think
time
Jacksonville's the better team now.
I think they are, but Blake Bortles he's got some talent, but he makes a lot of mistakes.
Jack's working really hard to make you change your pick. So we get all
All
have a
right,
unanimous pick here.
I'll go Tennessee. I'm going Tennessee. Don't force me to take Philly.
Way to
You know
go,
what's gonna-
Jack.
You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville wins by 14.
14 points. They're going to prove me right because Jacksonville is the better team.
Exactly. Next up is Mike. Are you going to leave, Mike, or are you going to be okay? Houston versus the Bills. Did our chat freeze? Did people stop talking?
No, I'm still here. So I did freeze up earlier and I popped out and popped back in. So
Yeah, I think this is where Houston winning streak stops here. Once they get into cold weather, I'm going to go Buffalo here.
Buffalo, the Bills.
them Bills and them Bills.
Gosh. I'm going to go Houston. I'm on the Houston bandwagon now.
Russ?
Can anybody give me a spread on this one?
Buffalo by 3.
Wow.
That help you?
I'm taking Buffalo. Sorry, I don't mean to leapfrog you here, but you're just taking way too much time. I don't even know why you're moaning now.
Yeah, I
Nothing worse than someone having an orgasm
I'm gonna-
over the pick
I'm
between
gonna take-
Houston and the Bills.
It's like the worst.
you know
place
what?
to
I'm
have an
gonna take Houston.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Houston.
All righty.
You know, the
Next up,
barbecue of Texas or the chicken wings of Buffalo?
orgasm.
I go the barbecue at Texas. Let's see. I'm up next. It's B-More versus Miami. Wow. Matt Schaub versus Tannehill.
Tannehill.
I got to go Miami. It's at home. I don't know. Miami.
Russ is-
I'll take boy, I don't know. Miami, sure.
All right, Miami. Sure. Okay.
I saw Baltimore come back in that amazing game against Cleveland on the road. So I'm taking Baltimore. I don't think Miami knows what they're doing. They're just firing offensive line coordinators and coaches and
Bill Campbell. Statue there. Are you still building that statue in Miami?
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell. Bill Campbell. Dan Campbell. Doesn't matter. Just so they have a statue of him.
But Dan Campbell's not to blame for anything that's gone wrong. That's why he fired the offensive coordinator, Bill Lazor. They're a complete mess. Baltimore win this. Baltimore.
All right. Next up is Russell, the Mountain Dew King. Cincinnati versus the Browns, the Battle of Ohio.
bum bum bum.
I'll take Cincinnati. Are any of these games this week got a 10-point spread?
New England is close at 9.5.
Yeah, the New England Philly game. I'm going to take Cincinnati
I
as
can't
well.
believe that.
So, I just Cleveland. Even if Cleveland is ahead in this game, somehow they're going to just brown it up.
If Cleveland gets in number one overall pick, do they draft a quarterback again?
That's a good question because
Or does the first round pick go, I ain't going there. I'm not going to Cleveland. I mean, Eli Manning said he didn't want to go to San Diego. He ended up winning 2 championship Super Bowls, so it paid off for him. Does he go, I'm not going to Cleveland?
I'm going to San Diego because that's going to be number 2.
No, right now we're screwed because we won.
I know. I thought it was kind of like a weird thing because it's like you're going to a game. It's awesome that you won, but then at the same time, it's like.
Well, someone said something to me. They go at the game. They go, "Why do you want your team to win?" I go, "I didn't come here to watch them lose." I go, "I want to see them win." They might move to LA next year. That's all I have. And it's you. It's the Jags. Who wants to lose to the Jags?
It's you. It's you. That's
It's
what
you.
every person likes to hear.
Use guys. Anyway,
So I took Cincinnati.
Mike,
Russ took Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
clean sweep. And they had, it was an interesting thing at halftime. They had these new recruits being sworn into the military, and it must have been like 300 kids being sworn in. But when they're showing the kids, I go, I know I'm getting older. I go, there is no way these kids are old enough to be in the military. There's just no way. They just look too young. It's just like I go, no, let's don't swear them in. They're too young. I said they showed a girl. I said she looks like she's 13. There's no way she's old enough. But it was kind of an emotional thing. But we all applauded and standing ovation. But it's like it was military day there, and they saluted. It was like every stoppage they were saluting the military. It was a pretty cool thing. But
well, Jacksonville, that's a port town.
Right. Yeah,
which is very similar to San Diego.
It's like it was San Diego East. Except the stadium didn't smell like pee. But, give it time. I'm sure it will. It's. Can I say this though? It's the most confusing stadium I've ever been in my life. We couldn't find our seats, and nobody could. We kept walking by it, kept walking over. And I go, where the heck? They go, oh yeah, you go this way and this way. Then we finally find our seats. People were coming to the game. They didn't know what seat they were in. Jacksonville fans. I said, see, it's not just us. It's a confusing place to find your seat. So, can we get that worked out? Or I'm not going to another game. Next up is, I think it's Matt, right?
Matt?
KC versus Oakland.
Ah, yes.
A battle of the old AFL teams.
The old AFL
Long
teams.
rivalry. Probably one of the longest rivalries in sports.
Yeah.
Well,
And I'm taking Oakland.
Oakland. Dun, 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 dun,
No offense, Russ, but I just
dun, dun, dun,
don't have a lot of faith in KC. I think KC wins the division. Or no, they can't win the division. Not against Denver. Now that they got Osweiler.
Osweiler is a stud.
Yeah. Also, I was tweeting this out a lot, but can we get Oswild to be a thing? Like let's go get Oswild.
So maybe he needs to do like a Tebow thing.
Sure.
And he needs an Osweiler.
Yeah.
Something wild. He's like
Osweiler promoting ostrich burgers. Now,
ostrich burgers. Go. Yeah, I like that.
See?
Could he get a nickname like the Boz? Like the Oz.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, how did that work out for the Bods though?
Right. Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
No. He didn't he make some of those like shaving commercials for Barbasol or something?
I think he did, but his NFL career was not as stellar.
It was not as Bozzy.
No.
Might
have been like he was juiceless.
Juiceless.
You got to be pretty ballsy to do Barbasol commercials. You liked that one, didn't you?
Maybe if you had another, maybe we all had Mountain Dew, we would have found that funny. Mike, you're going with? Just stick with your cheese, okay?
I keep getting suckered in by Oakland's fantasy players, Derek Carr, Mari Cooper. But after going 1-3 the last couple of weeks, I'm gonna lay off them and go Kansas City this week.
Yeah, I think Kansas City is a team. If they make the playoffs, I wouldn't want to play them because their defense is so good, even though it didn't show against the Bills.
Well, they lost Houston, so Houston is out for probably about a week or two.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm still going Kansas City. I don't think Oakland wins this game.
City.
And Russ, you're going with?
I'm taking KC.
I'm alone on an Oakland island.
Next up is the red-hot Denver Broncos versus the red-hot San Diego Chargers. And I'll just want to say, does Manning get his job back? If Manning comes back 2 weeks from now and says, hey, you know what? I'm ready to come back and play. Does what do they say? Sure. And Manning wants to play another year. It's like, okay, guy.
Well, so did Favre.
But Favre still had an arm. Favre still had.
Oh, but remember all of Favre's interceptions that he had? I mean, he was cranking out some touchdowns and some miracle moments.
But Favre always had interceptions.
And so does Manning. I mean, it just comes with the territory.
But I think Manning is. You can just see he's physically done.
Right.
And
I thought Favre looked done when he.
Let's look at the big picture. Like, at least they're completing it to somebody. That's got to be worth something.
It is.
It's true.
Yeah, it worked wonders for a lot of quarterbacks over the years. But no, you just hate to see a guy as talented as Peyton Manning just hanging on.
It's like,
I mean,
you need somebody to come in and just be like, "Hey, Rock, you need to sit this one out."
Yeah, Rock, you can't win. No, if they didn't have the defense they have in Denver, they'd be worse than the Chargers.
Yeah, they'd be competing for last place in your
They
division.
would. I mean, so he wasn't carrying the team.
Right.
He's got another injury on top of it. If the rumors
But
are true,
also, do you wonder though? Is it the game planning? Because the game planning is different with Brock Osweiler than it is with Manning. The same is true with Luck and Hasselbeck.
Yeah,
And the Colts have been awesome with Hasselbeck because I think the game planning that goes into it is different. It's a different mindset, and I don't know. Also, Hasselbeck has that quick release.
Colts also change offensive coordinators too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
Well, Osweiler too. You have to fear him throwing downfield, where Manning you didn't have to, and you could bunch up the line and stop the run. Right.
Right.
I mean, Manning has no zip on the ball anymore. If he comes, say he's healthy, comes back. Say Osweiler wins the next 2 games, and is 3-0 as a starter, or he lost the first game, right? No, he was relief. So if he comes back and he wins 3 in a row, and Manning goes, okay, I'm ready to play. Do they bring him in? Do they play Peyton Manning? I mean, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. They say, okay, yeah, Peyton Manning's back. We're going to play Peyton Manning.
I guess so. I guess you gotta go with it, right?
Well, they actually have a running game too with Brock Osweiler, because then you put him under the center, whereas like Peyton Manning has to be in the shotgun.
Right.
You actually had life from C.J. Anderson getting actually rushing yards from him.
That's what they say is hurting Melvin Gordon, because the Chargers are always in shotgun position. So because their offensive line's so bad, there's no time to throw the ball. I don't know. I wouldn't start him. I mean, it just depends on how Osweiler does. If Osweiler comes out, and again, they don't win that game if New England doesn't muff that punt.
I would just go this way. He's injured. Let him get healthy. The more rest, the better.
Right. True.
You know what? We're in the playoffs right now, but I think you take an extra week.
Yeah. Get you nice and ready for the playoffs where you can just dive bomb this whole team.
Anyway, I've lost track where we're at.
I think it was Mike's pick.
My pick.
Yeah.
Denver versus the red-hot San Diego Chargers.
My heart is saying pick San Diego, but then I'm looking at this schedule sheet and saying San Diego's won 1 of their last 7. So I'm going to go Denver here.
I mean, yeah, it's the whole, that's true, but they could have won at least 4 of those games. Bad calls.
But they didn't.
They did. I want to pick San Diego. My heart says pick San Diego, but there's going to be a lot of Denver fans there. They always travel well to San Diego, so I'm going to take Denver, but I will secretly be rooting for my Chargers.
Always.
Not so secretly. If you follow him on Twitter, not so secretly.
Not so secretly.
And at least there's no pressure going in this game. I'm completely relaxed. Usually this is for the playoffs or something like that.
Sure.
I'm just not. Hey, we win.
That's for number 1 pick.
Well, we just screw it up anyway.
Russ, who you taking?
I'm taking Denver.
Okay. Not even hesitation.
Yeah. If they put Manning in, I would take San Diego.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time, you go, God, I wish Manning was quarterback.
Right. I know he works wonders in San Diego. But I'm taking Denver.
All right, next up is me. It's Philly versus the Pats. Chip Kelly's going to be fired, right?
After that showing last week in Detroit, and now you got New England this week, good luck with that.
In New England, there's no way the Pats lose 2 games in a row. I don't care if Gronk plays or not. It's a bone bruise, I guess. So I guess it's nothing major, but look bad. But I'm gonna go the Pats.
And they're in Philly. They're not in New England. Just to correct you there.
Oh, it's at New England.
What? I thought it was New England at Philly. I must have seen that wrong. So, excusez-moi.
You must have seen that after you watched the our podcast from last week, and you're still all googly-eyed.
That's a long bow to draw, but okay.
Yeah, at this point, Chip Kelly's probably safer in New England than Philadelphia, I would think.
He probably is. Matt,
Yeah, I'm gonna take New England.
and
I
Matt,
think we can sweep this clean, right? New England. Yeah, I
Clean
mean,
sweep.
even without Gronk, they can do this standing on their head.
oh, they got Scott Chandler.
Right.
So, next up is the only undefeated team in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers versus New Orleans Saints, and Russ, you were up first.
I'm taking the Panthers. New Orleans looks terrible.
Yeah, I'm taking Carolina. So I don't know what's going on with New Orleans. I can't believe I picked them last week, but of course I'm picking anybody against Houston.
No defense. They can't stop anybody.
I said it. This team's gonna implode like a house of cards. So I mean, Sean Payton. I mean, does he get fired,
Does he get fired and come to San Diego?
or does he just walk
or
out,
L.A.?
or L.A.? Be a good gig.
It is. So Carolina, Mike.
Yeah, I think the only question with this game is how long Cam's celebrations will be this week. Will it be over 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going Carolina.
I'm thinking this could be a trap game. You know, you're 11-0. You're playing a team that's pretty bad.
It's
No.
a trap.
Carolina wins. Clean sweep. Next up is Matt. The Colts versus Pittsburgh. And we don't know if Roethlisberger is going to play. He will play with anything. He'll play with a broken leg, but not a concussion. Not a head injury.
Well, they're saying that it wasn't a concussion now.
Oh, they said it wasn't a concussion?
Yeah, I guess he was dizzy afterwards, but it was not a concussion.
Oh.
So I take it a bit what you will, but that's what they say.
Okay.
I've stood by my team through thick and thin, through good times and bad. This is one of those games where I'm just like, nope, we're not gonna win it.
It's a good time to.
I want to
Why
find
is Luck coming back to play?
I actually think that with Hasselbeck in Pittsburgh, we actually have a chance. I mean, he did play against them in a Super Bowl that he lost, or he didn't lose it. But
Well, there was talk about bad calls.
sure, yeah, we can talk about that Super Bowl as
Yeah.
far as bad calls against Seahawks. But at any rate, I'm taking Pittsburgh. I don't want to. I'll be rooting for my team the whole time. Sunday Night Football and all. I got to listen to Chris Collinsworth talk about Hasselbeck.
That Matt Hasselbeck is an amazing quarterback.
Oh.
I also could have been Matthew McConaughey broadcasting for Sunday Night Football too.
It's better than listening to what's his name on Monday night. Everybody's a gamer on Monday night.
John
Oh.
Gruden.
Gruden
Yeah.
doesn't
John
hate
Gruden.
anybody.
I'll tell you
He's
what.
a gamer. That guy's a gamer. It's like, oh my God, like
They're not a
everybody on the
gamer, they're
team
the
is a
grinder.
gamer.
I love Phillip Rivers. I love what he does for the team. He does everything. Kind of like that.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was pretty good.
Jay Cutler.
I'll say it.
And
I love Jay Cutler. Jay
Look,
Cutler
and-
is amazing.
and then Rivers gets sacked, and he's like, I like that guy sacking him. That's a good play.
But look at Rivers. He bounces back up. 300-pound guy jumping on him. He gets right back up. And what's with my haircut?
He pops up like a Jack in the Box. Speaking
There
of
you
Jack
go.
in the Box, I like tacos. I'm hungry. And there you go.
That's working for him. Mike, you're going with?
Well, if Matt doesn't believe in the Colts, there's no way I'm going to believe in the Colts. I'm going Pittsburgh.
Wow, thanks, Mike. I don't know what to make of that.
Since Mike and Matt don't believe in the Colts, I believe in them. I'm going the Colts.
Nice.
They can't tackle. They have nobody to tackle.
I don't care if Jack picks him. He's in last place. Let him make some points on this one. I'll still be rooting for him the whole time. I'm just being a realist.
Oh, really?
They don't win a lot of times in that steel curtain.
A lot of people don't win. It's a tough place to play.
Not a place to play, especially because those refs. Well, they're brutal. You know?
Hey, I'm not arguing with you.
They're like on some secret labor union. Never mind. I don't want to get into conspiracies here.
And Russ, you're going with?
I'm going to pick Indy just because I want to start a new trend of another long year of suffering. So
For Pittsburgh or the Colts?
the Colts.
So you're picking the Colts?
Yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
pick the Colts.
Okay.
All right. And the final game, the Monday night game, the game everyone's going to tune in to see. I think,
Slug?
Mike, you're first?
Yeah, Dallas already showed how well they are, or how well they are without Tony Romo.
Now do Jerry Jones says a lot of interesting things, and he's just he's a quotable guy.
He's a gamer.
He's a gamer. He made a great off-season signing, Greg Harding, but he had a talk with him, and Greg now knows what he has to do to stay with the
He
franchise.
knows not to beat any women up anymore.
Right, exactly. And he needs to show up for the meetings, and he needs to do this and that. And anyway, I do like what he said because there was reports that Romo wasn't 100% healthy, and I give him credit for going out there and playing. And Jerry Jones said it was worth the risk. It was worth the risk.
AK, see you next year, Romo.
Yeah. Now, what if Romo can't come back from this injury? Does Jerry Jones go, okay, that guaranteed contract we have, I don't have to pay it all because you got hurt? Does he just give him the money because it was worth the risk?
That was a risk I took. Here we go. I'll just shell it out.
I just said
This guy right here, Romo, he's a good guy.
He's a-
Grinder.
you gotta like him. He's just amazing. Anyway, so I just thought it was another stupid comment by Jerry Jones.
Not hard to come by there.
No.
I think he actually gives them out 5 cents on the dollar.
So anyway, it's a rivalry game. It's rivalry weekend. You got Dallas versus Washington. So it's these two teams hate each other. Fans hate each other.
Yeah, no Romo, no win for Dallas. Washington here.
Yeah, Washington's been playing really well lately. Speaking of Gruden, his brother is he's coaching pretty well. I thought he was on the hot seat there, be gone by Daniel Snyder, but I think he's got himself another year. So, which is a record, isn't it? Other than Norv Turner staying 6 years for coaches lately. I think Washington wins this game.
I'm going to take Washington as well.
All right.
Hey, you know what? I think we should do a bonus one for this one.
You're just going to step over my pick.
Pretty much.
You know what?
You're the Jay Leno of podcasting there, Russ.
Let me just finish this, and Russ can go into his spiel. I'm picking Washington. I always like to root for them when they play against the Cowboys. So this is a Cowboys and Indians game straight up. That's it.
Very good.
All right. What are you going to say, Russ?
Let's do an extra bonus point to see if we can pick who John Gruden's grinder is going to be.
It could be all of them. There's too many to choose from.
I'm not doing a Gruden grinder.
I'm not doing Gruden Grinder. But if you want to watch a good
come
TV show, watch The Grinder with Rob Lowe and Fred Savage. It's hilarious.
Speaking of grinders,
Anyway, that's our show.
Speaking of Patreons.
Oh, wait.
oh yeah,
Jeez, forgot all about that. This show and many shows, any quality shows like this, are made possible by you, the listeners. And we do have something. You go to Patreon/Jay and Jack, and you can help donate. Any donation you want to make, there's different levels, different things to do. We have many different shows. We have the Sports Talk with Three Stupid Guys, The Walking Dead with Three Stupid Guys, Game of Thrones, Bramblecast, The Lost Podcast, The Leftover Podcast, Survivor with Colleen, Jay, and Jack, Amazing Race with Jack and Cindy, Downton Abbey with Jack and Cindy, and I'm sure there's more I'm forgetting.
so much more, and
much
you can
more.
get everything on the whole enchilada feed.
The whole enchilada feed. If you'd like to help us out, if you like talking about, if you like hearing a guy say chicks, or people talking about tacos or cheese, or football picks and insight on if Colt McCoy pees on does he lift the toilet seat or not, go give us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it. Helps the cause, and
you too will become one of our Gruden grinders just by giving us a rating and a review.
Gruden Grinder. That's the.
And you can see Jay and Jack battle each other in Battleship.
Yeah, that was exciting.
That's true.
Yeah, it was exciting. Anyway, so can do that. And at this time, I'd like to thank a couple special Patreons. Tack from Tokyo and Eckhart Rickner Gladfelter, who is a Redskin fan, a Washington fan, I should say. And his team is winning, so he's happy.
Oh, nice.
Thank you guys for helping us out, and we appreciate it. That's all I got. Anything else you guys want to add?
Thanks for joining us in the chat. I couldn't comment or see the comments today, but always appreciate the people that listen to us live.
My chat kept freezing, so.
And you can always check us out on YouTube. We have all of our videos there, and what have you. You can just search us out, Stupid Guys. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right. That's it, Mike?
Yeah, that's it. I'll say it. Great show, kid. This is 1 in a million.
I'll see you next week.
Russ?
See you later, guys. Well, see you in 5 minutes.
All right. Bye.